Good evening, everyone. The Durham Public Schools Board of Education monthly meeting is now in session. At this time, we wish to extend a warm welcome to everyone who is joining us this evening. The purpose of this meeting is to inform our parents, staff, and constituents about the work aligned with our mission to embrace, educate, and empower every student to innovate, serve, and lead. The interpreters for tonight are Yvette Perez and Karen Reyes. Thank you for taking the time to join us. At this time, we will take a moment of silence. We would like to acknowledge the loss of a very beloved DPS alumni from Hillside High School. And so I would like to give Mr. Tab an opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Madam Chair. During this moment of silence, we pause to acknowledge and honor the legacy of Ms. Sheremy Dillard, a proud 1987 graduate of Hillside High School. Sheremy excelled in basketball and as a youth ran track with the Durham Striders. Sheremy dedicated her life to education, athletics, and coaching, beginning her extensive coaching career at Hillside High School as a physical education teacher and assistant varsity women's basketball coach from 1993 to 1996, where her team captured the 1996 North Carolina State Championship. She also led the junior varsity women's basketball team to an undefeated season. Today, we honor Sheremy not only for her accomplishment, but for the lives she touched through her love of sports, education, mentorship, and community. We extend our deepest love and condolences to her brother, Bernard Dillard, a Hillside graduate, her aunt, Wilma Dillard, who collectively spent 25 years as an employee with Durham Public Schools, and her grandmother, who taught cosmetology for 15 years in our system, and a family deeply rooted in the Durham community and known for the beloved Dillard's barbecue legacy. We proudly remember and honor the life, service, and enduring legacy of Ms. Sheremy Dillard in this moment of silence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, at this time, we move on to celebrations. Ms. Sheena Cooper.
Good evening, Chair Harold Goff, members of the board, Superintendent Lewis, colleagues, and the Durham community. Welcome to our August celebrations. August is always an exciting time in Durham Public Schools as students and staff return, school communities reconnect, and classrooms come alive for a new year of teaching and learning. Tonight's celebrations give us an opportunity to recognize several outstanding members of our DPS community and the achievements that set a positive tone for the months ahead. We will begin this evening's celebrations with our Student of the Month, followed by our Student Thesby Award winners, and we will conclude with our Teacher and Employee of the Month. Please welcome Chandra Clay, Principal of the School for Creative Studies, to present our Student of the Month.
Good evening, Board Chair, members of the Durham Public School Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Anthony Lewis, district leadership, families, and guests. It is truly my honor and privilege tonight to introduce an outstanding young man and proud Griffin, Julian Ramos Lorenzo, Durham Public Schools August 2026 Student of the Month. Julian and I go back to when he was an 8th grader and I first became principal of the School of Creative Studies. One of my earliest memories of him was serving as a student ambassador at the Showcase of Schools. Julian was eager to help, welcoming families, and proudly sharing all the wonderful things happening at SCS. What stood out to me most was his willingness to step in and interpret for our Spanish-speaking families so they could feel welcome, informed, and included. That is simply who Julian is. When we describe what it's meant to be a student at the School of Creative Studies, Julian embodies that description. He is personable and he is always willing to lend a helping hand. Over the years, I've had the privilege of watching him grow from that 8th grade student ambassador into the young man and senior leader standing before us today. Julian is involved in photography, theater, yearbook, and student government, and he is known throughout SES for his leadership. Julian also represents our belief in content through creativity and our commitment to align, act, and achieve. He doesn't just participate in school, he contributes to the culture of our school. When Julian was asked about his future, he answered, reminding me just how many interests and dreams he has. After graduation, he hopes to attend the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He also dreams of building upon his father's mechanic business and pursuing a career in film and media, continuing to write music, traveling the world, possibly entering public service, and one day even writing a book. What connects all those dreams is Julian's desire to help people and make a difference. He has shared that he wants to create media that influences positive change and helps people know they are not alone. Julian, we are very proud of you. I know this is only one of many accomplishments that lie ahead for you. And on behalf of the entire faculty, staff, students, and families of the School for Creative Studies, it is my honor to present Mr. Julian Ramos Lorenzo, Durham Public Schools, August 2026 Student of the Month. Congratulations.
Come back, Julian. We have something for you. We know that you have a bright future ahead of you. We've heard that list of all the things that you want to accomplish, and there's no doubt in our mind that you certainly will do that. So we want to make sure that you are prepared for all the things that you plan to do in your very bright future. So first, we have a Student of the Month certificate that we'd like to present to you this evening. Don't leave yet. We also have a Spark Pin because you embody our core beliefs, and we hope that you wear this proudly in and around Durham Public Schools. Our friends at Triangle E-Cycling knew that you were bound to do great things, so they want to make sure you're powered for success. They'd like to present you with a laptop this evening. And one more final presentation. I'd like to invite Cheryl Wallfall Flagg to the podium. She represents an organization called Families and Communities Rising, and they know that students deserve healthy starts to have healthy futures. And so to support all of the things that you plan to do, they would like to present you with a $500 gift card this evening. Congratulations, Julian. Go do great things. Please welcome Les Turner, Director of K-12 Arts Education, to recognize our 2026 International Thespian Festival Student Thespi Award winners.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. You did a great job with all those words. Good evening, Chair Harold Goff, board members, Superintendent Anthony Lewis. There you are. Thank you. And the DPS greater community. This evening, I am excited to celebrate some of the outstanding young arts educating happening right here in Durham Public Schools by uplifting some very young, but not too young, talented thespians in the space who represent their theater troupes, their schools, and all of DPS on the international stage this summer for a wonderful opportunity. The 2026 International Thespian Festival took place in Indiana University in Bloomington, consisting of a week-long student-driven experience full of full-scale theater productions, one-act performances, stage recordings, interactive workshops with industry professionals, college audition opportunities, and so much more. The event brought together almost 5,000 participants from an international audience pool, and Durham Public Schools not only had 2 schools participating in the event, but had both of those schools represented as the select few programs invited to showcase their work at the festival level. During the opening ceremony for the entire week of the festival, only a select schools get an opportunity to perform, and our very own Durham School of the Arts and Jordan High School represented 2 out of only 4 high schools in that event. The honor came after a long application process and both theater teachers and teams advocating for their students' talents. The students we celebrate tonight only represent a few of the very talented students who performed with the Durham School of the Arts presentation of Living It Up on Top from Hadestown, and Jordan High School's presentation of The Heart of Rock and Roll from a brand new musical comedy also under the same title. These students followed their opening ceremony performances to continue with the festival with workshops and also to present for adjudicators by the Broadway's very own industry professionals some of their work from this past school year, which brings us to our wonderful student highlights. During the festival adjudication process, students received a perfect score from all adjudicators, earned one of the few and very coveted THESPI awards for being the best of the best in their independent respective categories. Tonight, we get to honor 4 outstanding DPS theater arts students for receiving those THESPI awards. Tonight, they receive a certificate because they were already celebrated, but we want to celebrate them again. And we're going to celebrate the 2 schools together. So representing Durham School of the Arts and accompanied tonight by their teacher, Mr. Todd Lawrence, I'll welcome you on up, and their assistant principal, Ms. Guarano. We have up first, Astor Templeton in the category of duet acting.
Oh, thank you.
He also had a duet partner, Max Wolfram, who is unable to join us because he graduated. So that's a beautiful thing. So he is not here tonight. And then we also have Lily Martin in the category of costume design for Hadestown. We'll pause for a picture with the superintendent. So, thank you, DSA. Thank you, Durham School of the Arts. And we'll also celebrate one other school tonight that is representing Jordan High School and accompanied tonight by their teacher, Miss Olivia Bolito. We have some wonderful students to represent. Go chance. First up, we want to recognize Ethan Johnson in the category of solo musical number. Accompanying Ethan tonight is Gabe Campos in the category of playwriting. He is the sole playwriting THESPI award winner in the country. Yes, I did. A big thank you to all 4 of our Thespian Award winners here tonight, for our exceptional arts teachers team, and for all of their peer thespians who represented DPS so well this summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner, and congratulations to those outstanding scholars. At this time, we'd like to welcome Mina Fort, DPS's Recruitment, Retention, and Volunteer Coordinator, to present our Teacher and Employee of the Month.
Thank you, Sheena. Good evening, board members, Superintendent Lewis, and cabinet members, and Board Chair Harold Goff, family and community. Each month, Durham Public Schools Human Resources Department distributes a district-wide nomination form that allows teachers and staff to nominate colleagues from their schools and departments for recognition as Teacher of the Month and Employee of the Month. Nominations are based on the monthly theme. The theme for August is Welcoming and Building Community. We are grateful to the community partners who join us in celebrating these monthly recognitions: DCL Consulting LLC, the NCCU tennis team, and the Tau Psi Advisors of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our August Teacher of the Month and Employee of the Month. These recipients have been nominated and recognized for their hard work, dedication, and commitment to welcoming others and building community throughout Durham Public Schools. August Teacher of the Month. Our first recipient is Marcia Nice, a teacher at W.G. Pearson Elementary School year-round. Her nominator shared, "Miss Nice is truly the epitome of her name. As a specials teacher, she knows every student and treats each one with kindness and respect. Last year, she served carpool duty, and this year she serves in our hug zone. In each instance, she is intentional about welcoming every child and staff member with a warm smile. She has worked with her students to create beautiful artwork, including an amazing mural that beautifies our school. She is an amazing teacher and an even more amazing person, Principal Kendall Dorsey." Marcia, your plaque reads, "Congratulations, Durham Public Schools honors Marcia Nice as the August 2026-2027 Teacher of the Month." Your gifts are donated by the Durham Public Schools Human Resources Department and the Office of Public Affairs. In addition, Coach Lawson, the head tennis coach at North Carolina Central University, will present our Teacher of the Month with a check for $250. Right. Come on over, and Superintendent.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Board, Superintendent Lewis. Ms. Forte and I had an opportunity to visit Ms. Nice a couple of days ago and surprise her with some balloons and flowers on behalf of the men's and women's tennis team at North Carolina Central University. And then this evening, we'd like to present a check to you on behalf of DCL Consultant LLC for your recognition, and we'd also like to recognize Principal Dorsey for recognizing your excellence. Yeah.
August Employee of the Month. Our August 2026-27 Employee of the Month is Darlene Hampton. Her nominator shared, Ms. Hampton is truly the epitome of community. She does not simply connect students and families to services. She walks alongside them through most of their difficult circumstances. Whether a family needs food, stable housing, emotional support, assistance navigating school processes, or an advocate during a court proceeding, Ms. Hampton is there. Her commitment extends far beyond the traditional workday. She regularly supports families during the day, at night, and on the weekends to ensure they feel seen, heard, welcomed, and supported. Ms. Hampton embodies what it means to welcome others and build community. She is not only an extraordinary employee and advocate, she is also a source of strength, comfort, and hope to countless students, families, and colleagues. For these reasons, I wholeheartedly and enthusiastically nominate Ms. Darlene Hampton for Employee of the Month, Dr. Khadidra Smoots. Yeah. Darlene, your plaque reads, "Congratulations, Durham Public Schools honors Darlene Hampton as the August 2026-2027 Employee of the Month. Your gifts are donated by the Durham Public Schools Human Resources Department and the Office of Public Affairs. Please join me in congratulating Darlene Hampton. Yes. Congratulations to Marcia Nice and Darlene Hampton for their outstanding service and dedication and commitment to welcoming others and building community throughout Durham Public Schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fort, and thank you and congratulations to our outstanding employees for pouring into our school community. This concludes our celebrations this evening.
Thank you so much. All right, next on the agenda, we'll have the superintendent's update.
Thank you so much, and congratulations to all our honorees this evening, our scholars, as well as our amazing staff on all of your accomplishments and the support that you provide to all of our scholars in Durham Public Schools. So good evening, Chair Harold Goff, Vice Chair Kaysen, and board members, and our entire Durham community. I'm pleased to share with you a little bit about what's been going on in Durham Public Schools and some exciting things that are happening in the district. Next slide. This week, as you know, marked the start of our traditional school calendar in Durham Public Schools, and we are officially back in full swing with all of our scholars. Our classrooms, hallways, campuses have been buzzing with energy and excitement. I, along with Tony Cunningham, had amazing opportunity to visit about 14 schools, 14 of our year-round schools and comprehensive innovative high schools. But this week, about 20 of our schools so far. And it's certainly been wonderful to see our scholars and staff ready to tackle the year ahead. We look forward to providing a comprehensive back-to-school update on next month. And I did go down the steps on this playground. I did not go down on the slide there. So we began the school year with a record low, 58 teacher vacancies, with 25 of those being EC vacancies. And board, you'll see tonight on your agenda approval for unlimited instructors, which will assist us with hopefully filling some of those EC vacancies. Next slide. We also shared with all of our teachers, returning teachers, as well as our returning administrators. People ask, what's new? Well, we'll continue to do what we've been doing, but also with some enhancements. Yes, we have some things that we've been working on from an instructional standpoint, but we also have to talk about the culture and how we plan to operate not only now, but in years to come. And so what you're seeing on your screen, this won't be the only time you see this, but this is what we call the Superintendent Six. And these are things that I don't expect someone else to do, but I expect all of us to do. So these are 6 commitments that every one of us should make. I won't spend a lot of time on all of them. Again, you will see these. These will be throughout our schools. But number one, we promote high levels of learning for every single scholar. That's why we're here, to provide a rigorous world-class education for every single scholar in Durham Public Schools. Secondly, we strive for excellence as a standard. Excellence should not be something that we strive for occasionally, but excellence should be the standard. We should hold ourselves to high expectations for student learning and just how we provide service and supports to the adults in this district. Number 3, we own our work and our outcomes. Number 4, we communicate clearly, respectfully, and promptly. 5, we act with transparency and integrity. And then finally, we all work together to serve our students. So again, these are things we want to just be embedded in our culture for years to come. Next slide. I'm certainly excited about the opportunity to potentially transform our classrooms from moving from BrightLink projectors to modern interactive panel screens, obviously pending board approval. You will see the interactive panel purchase on the consent agenda this evening. Certainly want to thank our board members that are part of our academics committee, as well as all board members, for your deliberation and questions regarding this investment. And so as you will see in these examples here, the difference is clear. A dim, difficult to read projected image compared to a bright, vibrant, and highly visible interactive panel. This image was taken this week at one of our schools. And yes, the BrightLink is on, but it's very hard to see from where I'm standing, as you can see also from where some students are seated. If you look at the next slide, you will see an interactive panel standing about the same place, and probably maybe even a little farther back, but you can see it's easily visible in those classrooms. And so if we're going to be a premier school district, our scholars and staff deserve the latest technology while also receiving a world-class education. This investment is more about just replacing equipment. It's about creating a more engaging, interactive, and innovative learning environment. This investment will give our educators better tools to engage students and create a more dynamic learning experience. Most importantly, we are planning for the future and making strategic investments today that will serve our scholars and staff for years to come. I think the last time we made an investment in terms of those BrightLinks in particular, that was about 14 years ago. So obviously technology is changing every day. This is about ensuring that the learning environments matches the high expectations we have for teaching, learning, and achievement in Durham Public Schools. Next slide. This was really exciting. DPS welcomed NASA Artemis II mission astronaut Christina Cook to Little River Elementary School on Wednesday, just yesterday, as part of her North Carolina tour. She shared highlights of her space exploration as a member of the 4-person crew that launched on April 1st, 2026, and a free return trajectory around the moon. Students moderated a question and answer panel about Cook's life as an astronaut, her training, space travel. Did she wear pajamas while she was up there? And she said she wore space jammies there. And just curiosity overall. It was certainly a treat for our Little River community and students to see. You know, we often talk about and tell our scholars that you can do and be anything that you want to be. And so they were able to see in real time, touch, feel, talk to someone that has gone to the moon. We often tell them shoot for the moon. Well, they were able to talk to someone that has actually been to the moon. So certainly appreciative of our Little River staff for making that happen. Certainly an amazing opportunity for our scholars. So, the teacher that's there, Miss Mack, she shared the story of how one of our young students during the first few days of school said, yeah, my aunt is an astronaut. And so quite frankly, you know, you may say, okay, yeah, let's get back on task. Sure. And I think there was a phone call to the school to Miss Mack, and I think her mom said that the child will be out for a week because they will be supporting their aunt as she goes to the moon. And so it's real life happening. Next slide. Congratulations to the Lucas Montessori Middle School Chorus for being recognized by the North Carolina Music Educators Association as an exemplary choral program, which is the highest rating possible from the association. Lucas Montessori earned more than 150 points toward this prestigious designation, demonstrating excellence throughout the year through student participation and performance, honors ensembles, music performance, adjudication, concerts, professional development, and other musical opportunities. This recognition certainly reflects a commitment from students and their director, Ted Willis, to growing as musicians, pursuing excellence, and representing their school community with pride. Next slide. Also, congratulations to the Brogdon Middle School and Jordan High School band programs for earning the North Carolina Band Masters Association Program of Distinction recognition. Representing the highest level of recognition in the NCBA Program of Merit, the Program of Distinction honors band programs that meet all Program of Merit standards and earn excellence of superior ratings at the Concert Band Music Program adjudication. A lot of hard work and dedication supports this recognition. So well done to these student musicians, their directors, and the entire school communities. Next slide. Last week, we celebrated the grand opening of Glenn Elementary's new media center as part of the $68.3 million transformation of the school that's made possible through the Durham County's 2022 bond program and our community support. This was an incredible project, and we look forward to celebrating the full renovation later this fall during a ribbon cutting ceremony and building dedication. I had an opportunity to be in that library on yesterday, and I will tell you, it is gorgeous. Next slide. Speaking of the new Glenn Media Center, congratulations to Paula Januzzi Godfrey, Glenn's media coordinator, who has been named a regional winner of the North Carolina School Librarian of the Year Award. This prestigious recognition celebrates outstanding school librarians who make a meaningful difference for scholars, educators, and their school communities. Congratulations again, Ms. Januzzi Godfrey over at Glenn. Next slide. Congratulations to Southern School of Energy and Sustainability on being selected as one of just 8 schools in the nation to participate in the Smithsonian STEAM Schools of Distinction program. This prestigious 3-year initiative recognizes schools that take a whole school approach to integrating science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, teaching and learning. Southern's selection reflects the innovative work happening every day to prepare students for college, careers, and beyond. Congratulations to the students, staff, and school community on this incredible honor. Next slide. We had yet another exceptional summer with the Rising Stars internship program, which provides paid hands-on workplace experiences that prepare rising juniors and seniors for college, careers, and future success. Through partnerships with local businesses and organizations, students connect classroom learning to real-world careers while building professional skills, expanding their networks, and earning valuable career credentials that set them apart as they prepare for life after high school. The program is a key part of DPS's 3-2-1 Future Ready initiative, ensuring every student graduates with authentic career experiences and a clearer vision for the future. I was there doing this event, and I remember this young lady working with our after-school program had created a curriculum in honor of her brother who had passed away. And so we'll certainly follow her and make sure she returns to be an educator here in Durham Public Schools. But this night was the final presentations, and what I saw was certainly phenomenal. Our students shared their experiences with DPS leadership, their families, and with those who supported them throughout their internship. So certainly appreciative of all the volunteers, the judges, the district staff that was there, the families. This program certainly would not be possible without our business community who provided this outstanding opportunity to our scholars. I certainly know that next year will be even better, and we look forward to more companies signing up to support this initiative next summer. If you heard me say this before, the future workforce of Durham County sits inside our classrooms. The more we have businesses that open their doors to provide these experiences, the better for our students. So thank you again to those businesses. Next slide. I would like to invite the entire DPS community to join us on Tuesday, September 22nd for the State of the District Address, showcasing our progress and our extraordinary scholars and staff who bring the DPS difference to life every single day. I cannot wait for this event, and you will not want to miss this event. And I sincerely hope that you will plan to join us as we celebrate DPS. This event is free and open to the entire Durham community. Registration is available on our website, and this event will take place at Northern High School. Next slide. Students, families, staff, and community members are invited to share feedback about new policies that you believe should be considered for revision or revisions to existing policies that may be needed as the DPS Board of Education prepares to prioritize policies for the upcoming year. You can visit the Board of Education section on our website to submit your feedback by August 31st. Next slide. As you're aware, there was an unfortunate incident where a student brought a weapon into one of our high schools this past, just this week on day 2 of school. And I just want to be crystal clear here that weapons have no place in our schools. Yes, we will examine our safety protocols. Anytime we have drills or unfortunate incidents like this, we do debrief to talk about what worked, what didn't work, and what do we need to put in place. And I also want to say that school safety is a community responsibility. Unfortunately, some of the weapons that make their way to our schools come from vehicles. Vehicles are not gun safes. Vehicles are not gun safes. Not going to get in a debate on firearms, but vehicles are not gun safe. And so if you have guns in the home, please make sure that they are locked and secured. And as our partners over at Be Smart provides supports to families when our children are having sleepovers at home, sometimes we may ask, do you have dogs in the home? Safe to ask, do you have guns in the home? And are they locked up? So it's going to take a community effort to ensure that our scholars and staff remain safe. And our commitment to our scholars and to each other is to ensure that all of our learning environments are safe and that everyone associated with Durham Public Schools knows that our student code of conduct is non-negotiable. Student behavior policies are provided in order to establish expected standards of student behavior, principles to be followed in managing student behavior, consequences for prohibited behavior of drug, alcohol, policy violations, and required procedures for addressing misbehavior. We have a zero tolerance weapons policy, and any behavior that puts our school communities at risk is unacceptable. Our safety and security department, our law enforcement partners, and our Office of Public Affairs are always available as first responders. Next slide. Every school year begins with a blank page, an opportunity to write a new story filled with growth, discovery, and possibility. The 2026-2027 school year represents a new chapter for Durham Public Schools. We are certainly energized by the promise of what lies ahead for our district. Launching a new school year is a tremendous collective effort, and I would like to thank and extend my sincere appreciation to every educator, administrator, and staff member whose dedication made a strong start possible. We also thank our parents and caregivers for their continued trust, support, and partnership. This spirit of shared commitment is indeed the DPS difference. With all schools now fully in session, we look forward to a successful school year of learning, growth, and achievement as we write the next chapter of the DPS story together. And I think that's the last slide. And I do want to go home peacefully. My wife and I are celebrating our wedding anniversary today. So happy anniversary to my wife. I know she's watching. That's all I have.
Sweet. Great. Yeah, we got to get you home tonight then.
Thank you.
Right.
That's why I said that. Every board meets my anniversary.
Okay, we are now at the agenda review and approval.
Can I make a motion to amend the agenda? Yes,
In the
to
agenda.
amend the agenda and move the consent item of interactive panel purchase to, to administration.
Item, to move it to 4C.
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Board Member Rivero, seconded by Board Member Burr, to amend the agenda to move item A from consent, interactive panel purchase, to item 4C. All those in favor? Or any discussion? Sorry. All right, Mr. Tab?
Thank you. Just wanted to ask my colleague, I know in academics, we talked about this, and so I'm just wondering, can you get a little more information why you want to move this to administration now?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Tab. Yes, so we did talk about this in academics. Only reason for wanting to move it is I have a couple questions that I wanted to address and wanted to know if there were any additional options on being able to use the panels on carts, or if they have to be installed into classrooms, and just seeing if there's more teacher choice in the conversation. So I just wanted to have a deeper conversation around the interactive panels before we just move it through.
Thank you. Now we yield to Dr. Lewis and to the administration. How will this affect moving forward if we delay it? Will it come back tonight to consent, or are you saying take it off consent and it's going to have to come back to another board meeting? I just want to know where
Yeah,
where
great,
it lands.
great question. So my hope is to bring it to 4C and for us to just vote on it and just have a conversation first and then just vote on it tonight. Is that good? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I vote aye. It's approved unanimously. I'll now take a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
It's been moved by Ms. Burr, seconded by Ms. Kataf to approve the agenda. Any discussion? All those,
Yes, I have some discussion.
okay.
My discussion is around process. There was an item earlier in the week that was on consent that was moved. Is there a reason why it was moved after the agenda was posted and the board didn't have the opportunity to take that action in the public meeting? It feels like something we could have handled at that time. And how often are agendas being modified once they're posted without board action?
This is the agenda item for, which one was this? Where is it on the?
This is for the country university
The
contract.
unlimited
Unlimited.
instructors agreement.
Yes,
So part of what we wanted to, I understand what you're saying. Part of the reason why we made the change and added it, took it off of consent to add it, was so that the public could have access to the record before the meeting.
the consent items are public before the meeting. I would like to see side by side the differences between what was posted on Monday and what was posted today. And we didn't get an opportunity to do that.
Well, it's on the, we
Right,
I
but now the only thing that's on there is what was posted today.
I understand the concern. It is on the agenda for clarification so that when we get to that item on the agenda, then we can bring it up and make sure that we're all clear about what that change is, why it was brought, taken off of consent and brought.
Right, so
discussion.
my discussion is twofold. The first one is the process, right? Because the board should move things once the agenda has been posted. The board should take that action, and we didn't get an opportunity to take that action. The other piece of that is, can both drafts be posted so that we can see them side by side, even though that they're going to be a presentation about it?
All right,
I mean, what time was it changed? When was it changed? Like, I reviewed the agenda.
Since this is a process question, I would like to ask Mr. Mitchell, if he could address if there was something in the process that we did out of order. Can you address the process for the board, please?
My understanding, and Dr. King, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the
Turn on your mic.
Okay, so my understanding is that the only thing that has changed is the price, and that has gone down. And I think that, as Chair Harold Goff said, the thought was, as opposed to changing it at the meeting, that putting it out, taking it off consent so that someone could go on and see the revised contract with the new price was the more transparent thing to do. That, my understanding is that it was done for the sake of transparency and so that the public would have access to the most up-to-date thing. But again, Dr. King, unless I'm mistaken, the only change is the price, which went down.
Correct. It will be the pricing. I think the number of hours, the total cost and the cost per hour.
So I'd like to share unreadiness because we are expected to submit our questions by noon on Wednesday per our communication agreement, and we didn't get an opportunity to do that. So that's where I am.
All right, well, I would like to table this discussion for the place that it is on the agenda. Thank you for asking for clarification on the process. And let's see, where are we? Do we have a motion on the floor?
There's a motion and a second to approve the agenda as was amended.
All right. All those in, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And I vote aye. And it is.
And I vote no.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All those opposed. So it is approved 6-1. All right. And the next item on the agenda are the meeting minutes. All right. We have meeting minutes from the June 25th, the organizational meeting, and also the special meeting July 21st. Can I get a motion to approve these minutes?
So moved. Make a motion. I made a motion to approve them.
Second.
All right, it's been moved by Ms. Burr, seconded by Mr. Kaysen to approve the board meeting minutes, June 25th, July 6th, and July 21st. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I vote aye. It's approved unanimously. All right. And next on our agenda on general public comment. Okay, so quick review of the rules. First, please state your name. If you speak for an organization, please state your name and the name of the organization. Second, speakers are asked to present their comments in the specified time this evening, where we will have 2 minutes. When the yellow light comes on, you have 30 seconds left to start winding up your remarks. When the red light comes on, it will beep, which indicates that your time is up. Complaints about named staff, students, or parents should not be voiced in open session. However, we are very interested in hearing your concerns with regards to public education, the safety of students, or to the operation of the school system. Finally, the board members will listen carefully and consider the comments, but we do not engage in discussion with speakers. Our first speaker for general public comment, we have Ivan Almonte. Ivan Almonte, followed by Arielo Toro Gonzalez and Beatriz Cantieres.
Good evening. I will concede my time to Ms. Perez. Thank you.
Okay.
I will do the same thing. I will give it time to my.
All right, can you please state your name? I'm trying to.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, so that was Ivan.
Aurelio Tovar. And I give it time to Sandra.
To Sandra. Okay, did we have Ariello? Oh, okay, Aurelio. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Beatriz Contreras, and I'll give up my time to Sandra Perez.
Only two. Okay, so Ivan conceded to Ariello. And so Sandra can have two. All right, only two people can concede time. All right. So Sandra has 6 total minutes? Okay. $12 minutes, including translation.
Mi nombre es Sandra Pérez López y soy la mamá de Víctor Manuel Tobar Pérez. Mi hijo está en un programa en Project Search a través de la Escuela de Medicina de Durham. El día 24 de agosto, mi hijo y yo fuimos víctimas de discriminación y de intimidación por parte de la directora de la Escuela de Medicina. Incidente que momentos seguidos ella llamó a la policía hacia mi persona, en frente de mi hijo con necesidades especiales. La razón por la que camino con mi hijo todos los días, es por su falta de visión del lado derecho y mientras aprende a reconocer el lugar donde se encuentra.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sandra Perez, and I am the mother of Victor Manuel Tobar Perez. My son is in a program with Project Search in the School of Medicine, City of Medicine Academy. He started the program, and on the 24th of August, my son and I were victims of discrimination and intimidation on the side of the principal of City of Medicine. This happened when I was walking my son. I usually walk my son to the school because of the lack of vision that he has on the right side. And until he gets familiar with the place, I'm walking with him.
En estos momentos muy difíciles en que mi comunidad latina sufre acoso por inmigración, fue muy intimidante y es inaceptable. Cuando ella se dirigió a mí diciéndome que yo no podía estar en la escuela, yo le dije, dame un segundo, solo necesito dejar a mi hijo su mochila en donde se tiene que estar y me retiro a la oficina a hacer lo que tú dices que tengo que hacer.
While I was in there, the police was called because she said that I was trespassing. Like I said, in these moments, especially when my community is suffering all discrimination from the police and everything, I felt that I was being really discriminated for everything that was happening. I told her that I only was going to walk him to where I had to take him, and then I was going to leave.
Quiero aclarar que conforme lo que está pasando con inmigración, esto es inaceptable y no debe de haber este tipo de intimidación. Yo no era una persona de peligro en ese momento.
I feel that with what is happening with immigration, this shouldn't happen. This should be unacceptable. And at that moment, I was not a person that was dangerous.
Ella se portó de modo agresivo hacia mi persona. Yo le dije que parara, que no hiciera esto enfrente de mi hijo. Y no lo hizo. Continuó. Aún así yo le dije, observa la cara de mi hijo. Y ella se carcajeó, ja, 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 enfrente de mí.
And at that moment, she was being really aggressive. I told her that we were not danger at the moment and that she was scaring my son. I told her to look at his face and she laughed, ha ha ha, in front of him.
Cuando yo le dije, ella me dijo, llamaré a la policía para que te salgas. Yo le dije, llama a la policía, no me moveré de aquí, pero quiero hablar con la directora. Y ella me respondió, yo soy la directora.
And when she told me that she was going to call the police, I told her, go ahead and call them, but I want to speak with the principal. And she told me, I am the principal.
Cuando la policía llegó, ella habló muy amable con él. Y yo le dije a ella, si tú hubieras hablado así conmigo, las cosas fueran diferentes. El policía no hizo nada porque él solo dijo, esta es su institución. Y no pasó nada más que el momento de intimidación.
When the officer arrived, she spoke to him really kindly, and I told her, if you had been this kind with me since the beginning, this shouldn't have happened. And at the end, the police didn't do anything. The only thing that they told me is that that was her school.
Después de ese día, Víctor empezó a tener ataques de ansiedad y tiene temor que tiene miedo a ella y tiene miedo a que me arresten. Él no tiene por qué pasar por esto. Se siente triste y preocupado. Esta persona ha causado un daño psicológico grave en la salud de mi hijo y de la de mi familia. Somos orgullosamente mexicanos y también somos orgullosamente ciudadanos legalmente norteamericanos.
Since that moment, Victor has been having anxiety attacks. He has been having fears of her and about me getting arrested. I think that he should not be passing through this situation. He should not be sad. He should not be worried. And we are proud to say that we are Mexican, but we are also proud to say that we are citizens.
Me preocupa que esta clase de personas estén a cargo de estas escuelas. Me preocupa que estén enfrente y es su responsabilidad tener el cuidado de las personas en el plantel con o sin necesidades especiales.
I'm really worried that this type of people is the face of the schools. I'm really worried of how they are representing the people, whether they have or not have special needs.
Mis derechos fueron violados y los de mi hijo, y yo en ningún momento fui una amenaza, aún diciéndole que yo era la madre de Víctor aquí presente y que tenía necesidades especiales.
My rights were violated at that moment and also my son's, even though I told her that I was the mother of Victor, my son with special needs.
Me preocupa que los presentes adultos en ese momento vieron lo que sucedió. Nadie hizo nada. Observaron y callaron. ¿Por qué? ¿Por miedo? ¿O son cómplices de todo este tipo de comportamientos que suceden en estas escuelas? Y hablan de inclusión. ¿Qué significa la inclusión para ellos?
And I'm worried. I'm worried that there was other adults present at that moment and nobody did anything. Nobody said anything. Everybody talks about inclusion, but where was the inclusion at that moment?
Quiero que DPS tome acciones en este caso y revisen los videos. Y quiero que vean si esta persona realmente está capacitada y merece este puesto. Y alzo mi voz por los niños especiales que no tienen voz, por mi comunidad hispana, por todos los padres y los estudiantes que no escuchan y hay demasiadas quejas todos los días.
I want DPS to take action. I want them to look at the video of the footage. I want them to see if this person is really trained to be in the position that she is. And I want to raise my voice. I want to raise my voice for all the parents, for all the kids who have special needs, for our community.
Víctor fue un niño que tuvo 600 convulsiones en el año 2007. 600 convulsiones. Nos ha tomado 19 años llegar hasta este punto de su independencia y tratar que sea un niño que pueda llegar a ser independiente. Y no es justo que alguien como ella arruine mi trabajo y el de todos los que han hecho posible este sueño, que arruinen que ahora él solo pueda recordar y tener miedo que un policía vendrá a arrestar a su madre.
Victor is a kid that in the year 2007 had 600 seizures. 600. It has taken so long for us to achieve what we have in this moment, for him to be an independent kid. And it's not fair that he is living with fear, fear that the police is going to come to take his mother.
Yo como madre he sido activa en la comunidad, en las escuelas públicas. He apoyado a maestros, terapeutas y tengo un récord intachable y lo pueden averiguar. Amo mi país y este que también ha sido mi país durante toda mi vida. Y nunca he tenido un problema como este y nunca he tenido la necesidad de hacer esto que estoy haciendo ahora. Y no voy a parar hasta que mi voz sea escuchada y se me haga justicia.
I have always been a parent that has been active in school. I have helped teachers. I have helped therapists. I love this country. I have never had an issue. I have never had the need to do what I'm doing right now, but I want my voice to be heard.
Amo mi país y respeto la ley y hablo inglés también, pero hoy quiero que la intérprete sea mi voz también y que sea yo escuchada. Y quiero que ustedes vean el video junto conmigo y poder explicar a detalle. Ella tiene su versión y quiero que también sea escuchada. Algo que también quiero resaltar, Roger Search, no quiero que sea afectado por esta situación, todo lo contrario. Son magníficos en lo que hacen con nuestros hijos.
I love this country. I speak English, but this afternoon I wanted to use the interpreter because I also want her to be my voice. I want you all to watch this video with me, and I want to hear what she has to say on her version. Also, I don't want Project Search to be affected for what is happening. On the contrary, I want to give props to them.
Thank you for sharing. Ms. Lopez, we will be sure that staff follows up concerning your comments. Next on our general public comment, we have Katie McConnell, followed by Peter Crawford and Humberto Trejo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Nice Dr. Save. Recognize a powerful woman when I see one. I think you've probably figured out who I am, new people. Hi, Katie. I've got stuff planned, but I think I'm just gonna roll. Katie McConnell, Little River. Thank you for the remediation. It looks amazing. As I said to all of you yesterday, when you had an incredible experience with Christina Cook, that our work wasn't done. Today, my room was at 82% humidity at 63 degrees. Teachers, not myself, are tracking it across the board. You promised us dehumidifiers, we need them. We need them. Thank you you guys followed through with everything, and I appreciate that. I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I think it's really important just for me. Dr. Lewis, I told you your grade was in. You started last year with a D- with a curve, and I've given you a B for this year. I've given you a B, but I want all of you in this room to know that you're going to have to wait till August 2027 to get your final grade, because my oldest is a senior at Northern, and I'm not missing a moment in this chapter. I stayed with DPS for the last 3 years because it was best for me and my girls. Next year, my circumstances change, and I will take my excellence with me. You gave me a massive shout out yesterday, but I'll go. We deserve so much better. I shouldn't have to come week after week, year after year to do what should have been done in the first place. Now, that was a tongue lashing, but I love you and I'm thankful. Well, I don't love you, but thank you. What I meant.
My turn. Okay. I need the interpreter. What is interpreters? Okay. Can you plug my time back because I'm waiting for the interpreter? Thank you. Thank you so much. Ok, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Humberto Trejo. Soy el presidente de Juntos por la Educación en sí, una organización sin fines de lucro que apoya la educación en general, y estoy aquí para abogar.
Good afternoon. My name is Humberto Trejo. I am from Association United with Education, NC.
Ok, esta noche estamos apoyando a las familias latinas, a todas las familias en escuelas públicas, no nada más las latinas, ¿verdad? En este caso vamos a reforzar un poco más de lo que la señora Sandra Pérez habló de qué sucedió en la escuela de medicina. Estoy aquí para defender los derechos de las familias, de todas las familias, a que sean tratadas con respeto y dignidad, por favor. No pido juzgar a nadie, solo pido que seamos transparentes, ¿verdad? Y que veamos lo que está pasando dentro de las escuelas. Que tengamos los ojos bien abiertos y saber a quién estamos contratando, quiénes están al cuidado de nuestros hijos.
I'm here to support all the Latin families, but not just all the Latin families. I want this to be a reinforcement just to Sandra Perez, to defend all the families, respect them and with dignity. We're not judging no one, but just be able to be transparent. Look and open our eyes, especially of who we're hiring.
Las familias deben poder hablar sin miedo y recibir respuestas dentro de los plazos definidos. Por eso les tengo unas preguntas. ¿Quiénes están investigando? ¿Cuándo recibiremos las respuestas? Y es todo lo que tengo que decir ahorita, ¿verdad? Y me gustaría que DPS, la mesa directiva, pusiera mucha atención a este caso especialmente, porque puede haber más casos que desafortunadamente no nos estamos dando cuenta.
The family should be able to talk and not live in fear. There's the questions that we should think about. Who needs to start investigating? When would we have the first response, and to be more informed? And I want DPS, the Board of Education, to be open, and just because there could be more cases later on in the future.
Thank you.
Hey folks, my name is Pete Crawford and I'm here representing the Jordan High School Theater Boosters with several of our officers and of course our fantastic leader, Miss Olivia Bolito. This evening, we celebrated two of our outstanding thespians. The Jordan Theater Program is building on the success of the 25-26 school year by presenting another first-in-the-nation pilot musical this fall, Heart of Rock and Roll. The Jordan Theater Troupe, of course, always seeks to represent our community well, and I think it has demonstrably done so. And this is especially true with such a high-profile show when we have a pilot like this. We're blessed to have, of course, phenomenal teachers, supportive parents, but putting on a show like this takes the efforts of the entire DPS community. And we've enjoyed and look forward to continued support from Mr. Turner. And we also look forward to working with Mr. Barnes and his team to identify ways to shore up the aging equipment that we have in the Jordan Auditorium. To that end, we've actually already identified a couple of solutions that would present no cost to the district and which we can implement effectively immediately. And these will help us put our best foot forward this fall and earn the right to return to the International Thespian Festival next year on the main stage. And as a closing comment, I do really appreciate everybody's support and advocacy for the arts in this district. And we also really hope to see everyone in this room and everyone who's watching on streaming right now at one of Jordan's shows in November. Thank you.
All right, next we have Mr. James Chavis, followed by Arleth Santos and Ashley Lopez.
Good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon.
My first thing is I'm a citizen of Durham, North Carolina. Been here quite a long time. And the second is, why are the Spanish up here hollering discrimination when I'm coming before you right now to show you a form of discrimination that's been going on for quite a while? Okay, haven't you heard of bilingual? Being bilingual? Well, tell me this. How many years have you been teaching Spanish kids how to be bilingual, starting from the first grade to the 12th? And how many have you taught the blacks or others how to speak Spanish from the first grade to the 12th? If that's not discrimination, what do you call it? So when they holler discrimination, I'm black. I've been here. I know what discrimination is. And I see it. But who helps it? Our black folks who sits in these offices and don't look at it. I'm going to give each one of you this preferred bilingual job coming out of Texas, requiring for bilingual teachers already. Send it to me for what? I won't even work in a pie factory right now. So why would I want to go work in this? Not only Thursday, I went to the city council meeting. Guess what I heard? With the discrimination part. A white woman being acknowledged with her qualification as being at the end by a white woman being bilingual. So how do you think that makes me feel as being a black person out here right now, trying to get y'all to understand our black kids need to be taught how to.
Thank you, Mr. Chavis. Can you leave that with our board clerk right there? Ms. Nicole Smith, see her hand? Thank you so much. Do we have Arleth Santos? Followed by Ashley Lopez.
Hi, my name is Arleth Federico Santos, and I am currently enrolled in City of Medicine Academy. And my major concern is about our principal, involving her actions and attitude toward a parent and a student. On Friday, August 21st of last week, there was an incident involving our principal, a parent, and her son. The mother had gotten into a conflict with the principal involving her accompanying her son into the building in the morning to the convocation area. The principal was not okay with the woman not registering herself before she came inside the building because there are laws that she has to follow. Then on Monday, August 24th, around 9 in the morning, the mother was dropping her son off once again in the convocation area, and while she was heading towards there, the principal gave a forceful order telling her to leave the building at that moment. And so the mother had told her, okay, but please talk to me with respect. And then the mother had comforted her son due to him getting scared. Then she turned around to face the principal and told her, please don't speak to me in that way, especially in front of my son, because he is getting scared. And the principal retorted with laughter in her face and proceeded to tell the mother that if she doesn't leave now, she will call the police. Her son then became anxious and worried that they would take away his mother. After this incident, her son became emotional, anxious, and stressed. 2 days ago, the son had an anxiety attack and started to cry, which isn't like him. This clearly shows that he was deeply affected by the principal's actions. The principal has violated professional and staff standards of conduct. Governing Principals Code 1100 Clause 3. 16 NCAC 06C.0602 Standards of Professional Conduct Clause 2. The principal with this incident has not served as a positive role model for the student during the incident. We wish for the removal of the principal of City Medicine Academy due to her hypocritical actions as we were taught by her during my freshman orientation. No kid or student with or without disability should be treated as a lesser being.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have Ashley Lopez?
Hi, my name is Ashley. I'm currently enrolled in City of Medicine Academy. My concern is about my principal of City Medicine Academy. The actions of our principal does not reflect our school's image. CMA is known for respect, integrity, and ambition to become our best selves within the school. The parent feels discriminated and scared due to recent incident with City of Medicine Academy on Friday and Monday. She feels that she has violated her son's right as a student. She acted aggressive, unprofessional within the incident. This has scared Victor and given him panic attacks. The school is supposed to be a place of integrity and respect involving both student and faculty members. Our principal has not reflected the school's image, and we, the CMA community, wish for the removal of our principal. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe this is Mosalo Treo, Santos Treo. Masal Santos Treo.
I'm gonna give my minutes for, all right?
Is this Darcel Dillard?
Or Magali Santos.
Oh. I don't know if I can cede to someone who has already spoken. I can't cede to someone who has already spoken. So next on the list, we have Marsalo. If Marsalo is in, the next person after that is Darcel Dillard. Do we have Darcel Dillard?
Good evening, Madam Chair, Board, Superintendent Dr. Lewis, and staff members. My name is Darcel Dillard, and I'm a DPS parent. My daughter is at Murray Massenburg, and I'm seeking clarification about the technology fee and student access to Chromebooks. Last year, after raising this concern with the superintendent's office, I was advised that Chromebooks would not be withheld from students because they are necessary for instruction. Today, however, my daughter's teacher explained that Chromebooks are used for school projects in Google Classroom, but students whose families do not submit the technology fee in agreement are limited to using them for assessments only. She further explained that this restriction is based on her adherence to DPS policies. That is my concern. If a Chromebook is necessary for required classroom work, should access to that instructional resource depend on a parent paying a fee and signing a financial liability agreement for a device that is never brought home in some cases? North Carolina's Constitution guarantees a system of free public schools in which equal educational opportunities are provided to all students. I understand that this does not prohibit every incidental fee, but there is an important distinction between charging for something that is supplemental and having conditions in place to access a resource that students need to participate fully in classroom instruction. Furthermore, DPS Board Policy 4600 states that no fee will be charged for required courses or activities. While I understand that the board may have approved this fee, I have not been able to identify where the board has authorized restricting access to required instructional technology. To be clear, this is not about the $15 or $30 fee. It's about where we draw the line. It's about access to a necessary resource for instruction that can be conditioned on payment today, but what's next tomorrow? Public education should have clear boundaries. So I'm asking the board to answer a few simple questions.
You can take those, I want to make sure that we get these questions.
Yes.
Can you please email those questions to the board so that we can have access to them? Thank you so much. Right. Next, we have public comment on interactive panel purchase by Rob Fields, and there's also another public comment on unlimited instructor agreement. So, Mr. Rob Fields, if you can come up, we will give you the time for the interactive panel purchase, and then we'll start your time again on the next topic.
Understood that the policy was that the comment would occur at the time that the agenda item was considered by the board.
This practice is different, like, because it was, so that was not my understanding at this time. Could you, at this time, I understand, I hear your clarification. Thank you for that. Do you mind going ahead and giving the public comment since we already have it on the?
Well, that's not much different than just doing public comment. The policy, as I read the policy, as I provided this afternoon, provides for comment at the time the agenda item is being considered by the board.
We need a point of, Mr. Mitchell, can you clarify if the policy does declare that it has to take place at the time of with the agenda item when it's listed?
Sure. I don't interpret the policy to say that. It says citizens may sign up to speak on agenda items. Citizens may sign up to speak for a maximum of 2 agenda items per meeting. Citizens shall address the board in the order of the items on the agenda. So I think that the comments by the speaker, if he has 2 agenda items, should be in the order that they are on the agenda. I don't see anything that ties the time to the specific item.
All right, so the order of the items on the agenda. So what I'm understanding is that public comment is at the beginning of the agenda. And
Correct.
so we're taking all of the public comment there. What I believe Mr. Fields is interpreting is that we should address these public comments when they're addressed on, like when the board addresses them on the agenda.
I
So-
think that's correct, that's what he's saying. The policy doesn't say that. The board certainly can choose to do that, but That's not what the policy says.
All right. I really appreciate,
I'm not going to belabor the discussion tonight.
thank you
can-
so much.
We can handle that in other ways. With regard to the interactive panels, I'll try to go as quickly as I can. Others can address the instructional value of this expensive technology versus other technologies that cost less. But I haven't seen the case made and find no data to support this premium expense from the perspective of more effective instruction and enhanced student learning. Does it really help students such that the cost is justified? Why buy a Rivian when an F-150 will do just as fine, if not better? And why buy a new F-150 when the one you're driving just needs a new set of tires? I haven't seen that assessment has really been made with regard to this technology. But more importantly, though, is when were the dollars appropriated by the board for this multi-year capital project? And will this proposal be presented to the county commissioners for approval, since it is a capital budget item spanning multiple years? With no budget having been passed for 2026, 2027, the interim budget resolution statute does not seem to authorize proceeding with a multi-year capital project without first addressing how funds will be appropriated. And so that's my question about this particular proposal, is to make sure that you've passed the resolutions you need so that your staff, when they spend the money, are in compliance with the Budget Act, and other people don't come in and start questioning that. So I just raised that concern for your consideration with regard to the interactive panels. Done with those. With regard to the unlimited instruction, on July 21, this board, voting both and, directed the Finance Committee to address the living wage issue on August 19. But on August 19, staff left the issue off the Finance Committee agenda. Instead, staff proposed spending $2 million on an outside contractor for 20 unlicensed EC substitutes, 142% markup. I'm glad to see y'all got the markup down to about 112%, and it's for 18 instead of 20 substitutes, but it's still a premium contract. Once again, fair wages for your employees take a back seat to profits for corporate vendors. County commissioners repeatedly criticize how DPS manages money. Decisions like these won't change anyone's mind. Meanwhile, county employees now make $19.55 an hour, and your employees wait. It is past time to comply with your living wage policy, and we can't keep hiding behind the county manager hasn't told us what a living wage is. We all know what it is. It's time to pay your employees a living wage before you pay this corporation premium prices for workers that DPS should hire directly. So I would encourage you to find a different way to recruit your EC substitutes than this particular premium price approach that appears to be just an attempt after these people should have been recruited through normal channels. Thank you very much.
All right, and that concludes our public comment. Next on the agenda, we have our consent items. I'll take a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda items minus the interactive panel purchase. Oh yes, it's not on there anymore, just kidding. So motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Second?
It's been moved by Ms. Rivero, seconded by Ms. Kataif to approve the consent agenda items. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I vote aye. It's approved unanimously. All right, we are now on Board of Education resolution affirming Durham Public Schools' commitment to sustainability, climate resilience, and environment. I believe, let me see, I'll pull up the prices. I believe this is you, Ms. Rogers?
Chair Harold Goff, can you lead us through reading the resolution? How do you direct us through how you want that done? It's not the Sunrise Initiative. Is it labeled the Sunrise Initiative on the agenda?
The document itself says resolution reaffirming Durham Public Schools' commitment to sustainability, climate resilience, and environmental stewardship.
All right. Yes. We'll start with, we'll start on this side with Ms. Rogers, and each of us will take a paragraph and go ahead and read.
Sorry, I got it. Resolution reaffirming Durham Public Schools' commitment to sustainability, climate resilience, and environmental stewardship. Whereas students and youth leaders affiliated with the Sunrise Movement have demonstrated leadership in advancing climate awareness, sustainability, and environmental stewardship within Durham Public Schools and communities across the nation. And
Whereas the Durham Public Schools Board of Education values student engagement in civic processes and appreciates the recommendations presented through the Sunrise Initiative as a framework for board consideration, while affirming the leadership of the National Sunrise Movement and the Coalition for Sustainable Schools in advancing practical, equitable, and fiscally responsible sustainability initiatives.
Whereas we face a global climate crisis that requires action at all levels of government. Whereas the climate crisis is increasing the frequency and intensity of hurricanes, flooding, drought, and extreme weather events affecting Durham County and Durham Public Schools, disrupting school operations and threatening district facilities and infrastructure.
Whereas climate change disproportionately affects the communities that are least responsible for the greenhouse gas emissions that cause global warming.
Whereas on April 23, 2015, the Durham Public Schools Board of Education approved a resolution expressing its commitment to reduce the district's use of fossil fuel energy sources, and in 2021, reaffirmed and expanded that commitment by establishing goals to achieve 80% clean, renewable electricity by 2035 and 100% clean, renewable electricity by 2050, while directing the superintendent to provide semi-annual reports to the board on actions taken and progress made toward those goals. And
Whereas the board now seeks to build upon these existing commitments by affirming climate action as an educational, operational, and fiscal priority, supporting state and local policies that advance climate resilience, and advocating for a Durham County Climate Action Plan that includes Durham Public Schools facilities, operations, and long-term capital planning. And
Whereas scientific evidence demonstrates that greenhouse gas emissions associated with the fossil fuel combustion are a significant driver of climate change.
whereas addressing the impacts of climate change will require financial resources beyond those reasonably available through existing state and local operating budgets.
Therefore, be it resolved that the Durham Public Schools Board of Education affirms its commitment to sustainability, climate resilience, environmental stewardship, and climate literacy in support of safe, healthy, and effective learning environments for all students, and directs the superintendent and district administration to implement the policies and initiatives adopted by the board pursuant to this resolution, consistent with available resources.
Be it further resolved that the superintendent is authorized and directed to implement the provisions of this resolution and, where appropriate, bring recommendations to the board for consideration, including
Conduct periodic environmental assessments of district facilities and operations, including Scope 1, Scope 2, and Scope 3 greenhouse gas emissions, and develop recommendations for sustainable purchasing, energy management, and operational practices based on those assessments.
Develop, in collaboration with community stakeholders, a district-wide climate disaster preparedness and response plan for board review and consideration.
Develop climate literacy supports, including subject matter expertise and professional learning opportunities to strengthen climate education across grade levels and content areas in alignment with state academic standards.
Provide periodic reports to the board regarding implementation of this resolution, opportunities for collaboration, and recommendations for future board action.
Be it further resolved that the Board of Education and Superintendent shall work collaboratively with Durham County, excuse me, local governments and community partners to support the development of a Durham County Climate Action Plan that includes Durham Public Schools, facilities, operations, and long-term capital planning.
Be it further resolved that the board shall consider sustainability, climate resilience, environmental stewardship, and climate literacy as guiding principles in future strategic planning, capital planning, facility improvements, and operational decision-making, and that recommendations resulting from any Durham County Climate Action Plan shall inform future board planning and decision-making, consistent with available resources and the district's educational mission.
Be it further resolved that the Board of Education and Superintendent shall support and advocate for state policies, funding opportunities, capital investments, and legislation, including climate superfund legislation that advance sustainability, energy efficiency, and climate resilience in public schools.
Be it further resolved that any funds received by Durham Public Schools through a North Carolina Climate Superfund program or similar funding sources shall be prioritized for the following purposes.
Update school buildings, buses, and other school infrastructure to run on 100% clean energy, be climate resilient, and ensure safe, non-toxic learning environments.
Expand access to locally sourced and sustainably produced school meals with the goal of increasing student access to nutritious meals and reducing environmental impacts.
Expand student pathways to careers in sustainability, clean energy, and related fields.
Be it further resolved that the Durham Public Schools Board of Education commends the leadership, civic engagement, and advocacy of students associated with the Sunrise Initiative, the National Sunrise Movement, and the Coalition for Sustainable Schools for advancing thoughtful dialogue and civic engagement regarding sustainability and climate resilience in public education. Introduced today, August 27, 2026.
All right. That's exciting. Yay. Yeah, it is a lot, long time coming, and we're very excited to be reading this resolution. Are there any other comments from board members?
I would like to make one comment. I just want to say thank you to Ms. Rogers, as well as actually Ms. Burr at the last work session, asking and inviting more students on the task force. And thank you to DPS leadership for hearing that and creating opportunities for students, and even changing times that they're meeting, et cetera, so that more students have opportunities to participate and engage with this. Everyone's efforts has just been amazing, and I'm just grateful to be able to approve this tonight.
Great. Well, is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I would like to make a motion to approve this resolution.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Burr, seconded by Mr. Tab to approve. I'm going to read it correctly. the resolution reaffirming Durham Public Schools' commitment to sustainability, climate resilience, and environmental stewardship. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And I vote aye. It is approved unanimously. Next on the agenda is,
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Ms. Harold. The slides had a couple other actions. Because Ms. Burr had requested that we get an update on the buildings that had structural evaluations. And the request for the annual update on the energy cost savings. And the request for the board to include this as part of the legislative agenda this year.
all right, so we need a second motion.
So I'd like to move that superintendent provide the report on the schools or the buildings that had been completed, the solar panel evaluations, request for an annual update on the energy cost savings, and a request for the board to include this in our legislative agenda this year.
I would like to second that motion.
It's been moved by Ms. Rogers and seconded by Ms. Rivero to approve the update the board on the schools with evaluations of supporting solar panels to be distributed via the superintendent's weekly update, right? To come in the weekly update and at the annual public reporting of energy cost savings. Did I miss something about the legislative agenda? Okay, and you want it to be included as part of the legislative agenda. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I vote aye. It's approved unanimously. All right. Next item on the agenda is for information only. The proposed governance planning retreat agenda. And then now we are moving to item 4, administration. Mr. Teeter, have our insurance renewal.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, and Dr. Lewis. So normally the cabinet member who supervises risk management would bring this forward. We're still in the process of identifying who that distinguished individual is going to be. And so finance works very much in concert with risk management and those folks. And so I took one for the team to bring this report in front of the board to make sure that we remain in compliance with Board Policy 8340, where we will provide you an update on our insurance coverages and the just the coverage that we have this year. And so put some notes on the précis for the board, and we talked about this in Finance Committee, and so just a couple of the broad points that stuck out from the conversation in Finance Committee were a couple of the types of coverages. We saw some market increases, so particularly in the space of general liability, as well as the insurance line of insurance that covers our law enforcement employees in the district that provide security. And so, so one, just explained to Finance Committee that the spike in general liability has almost everything to do with just past events that have happened in the district and our claims exposures, just as well as the general liability market in general is on the rise, along with other types of insurance coverage. So the board did not expand to any new types of insurances and just typical increases, and we wanted to make sure that we provided that report, that staff did bind the required insurance by July 1st, and additional conversation for future planning, and we'll work with a future teammate on, we may want to revise this process such that we, instead of updating the board after the fact, we may propose a modification such that we treat this like other purchases and get that in front of the board ahead of binding the policy. So just something that we're thinking about as we continue to change how we do business.
Board members, do you have any questions or comments? Any points of clarification or anything like that? All right. Thank Thank you, Mr. Teeter. We are now on the unlimited instruction contract. We do need to, that has a motion. It says it's for information. Yeah. So, we are now on our, Dr. King, agenda item unlimited instruction contract.
Good evening, board members, and thank you for the opportunity to share this item with you this evening. Board members, as we shared in, I think, Academic Committee as well as the Finance Committee, Durham Public Schools has been working with unlimited instructors to come to terms around a contract that would allow us to partner together to identify and bring to the district 20 individuals who will work in our schools as EC teachers. I would note that just to clarify, there is a very significant difference between kind of what we're going to be doing here and what would be the case if we just went out and identified 20 long-term substitute teachers. If we identify 20 long-term substitute teachers, they would certainly, we would hope, work in our schools for the year, do a good job for us, but at the end of the year, they would still simply be long-term substitute teachers. What's different about this item is that this process will allow those teachers to, while working in our schools as substitute teachers, to also complete the requirements that would allow them to become certified teachers. And the following year, be eligible to join our team permanently as fully certified exceptional children's teachers in our schools. And so I think the statement was made earlier that we are paying a premium to have these folks in our schools. That is true. We are paying a premium. But what's important to note is that premium is the cost that covers the process by which those individuals will gain access to the coursework and support they need to become certified teachers and then be, again, eligible for hire as full-time certified teachers in our schools. The other thing that we shared in the committee meetings is that we intended to continue to negotiate this process right up until the end. And so we advised board members that we might need to make some changes to the contracts. I'm pleased to share that Dr. Lewis and I, along with Mr. Teeter and our assistant finance officer, did just as we said, continued the process of negotiating this contract right up until about 5:45 yesterday evening. And so we were able to, through a great deal of diligence and probably stubbornness on my part, get the contract in a place that we feel like is a lot better deal for Durham Public Schools. So initially, the initial plan was that the cost would be approximately $74.92 an hour for each teacher, which would bring us to a total cost of just over $2 million. We were able to negotiate a price now of $65.95 per teacher, which brings us to a total cost of $1,530.40, a savings of almost $500,000. And so we are certainly proud of being able to bring that deal to you at this point with those particular savings. And so that is what I would share. I'd be glad to answer any questions that board members might have regarding this item. But as again, all of the information is there for you. The only change to the contract is the change in the actual cost numbers. Ms. Rogers, I'd be glad to share the old numbers with you exactly to make sure that you have an opportunity to understand the difference in those numbers if necessary.
All right. I see Ms. Rogers' hands, I see Ms. Burr, and then I see Ms. Katave.
So I really appreciate that. I appreciate the lower costs. I appreciate the work and the effort in supporting our EC educators and our EC students. And I know that it was shared in the committee meetings that y'all would continue to work on this, and I appreciate that. I remember what it's like being a member of the public. And when there's a change on the agenda, there's not an alert that goes out to members of the public. There's not anything that's transparent. And so I'm voting no on process because I wish the board had had an opportunity to say, okay, we're making this decision, we're switching this out, because that's how we make constituents aware in public meetings about things. There was no alert that went to community if they checked on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. And I don't want us to set the precedent that the board is authorizing administration or board leadership to make changes to the agenda after it's posted. That's all.
Understood. Thank you.
I just want to thank Dr. King so much and thank the superintendent for your leadership, for solutioneering and try to fill these positions for our most vulnerable students. And I just want to pause on that and just say thank you. And I just have a question just for informational purposes. What is, and I'm so sorry that I don't know the answer very well. What is our pathway for recruiting, training, and retaining EC teachers as employees at Durham Public Schools? Like, what are all the ways to do that? That's separate from, I'm very excited about bringing in folks who are going to receive training for a year, and I'm excited that you've cut the costs. And just for informational purposes, can you educate me and my colleagues about what is our process for it?
So I think what I'd share is, as a general rule, our approach to recruiting teachers has not been one, at least certainly the last couple of years, that has been differentiated. Folks may remember that some time ago, we had access to some dollars through a grant that allowed us to develop some programs that were used to offer folks opportunities to go to school, go back to school, if you will, and earn certification. Unfortunately, those grant dollars have expired, right? And so many of those programs that we were able to offer in-house are no longer available to us because we don't have the grant funds that support those programs. We do, however, continue to partner with local institutions, local universities, and take advantage of any opportunities that they offer folks who are interested in pursuing a program of this sort, a certification program. We continue to look at additional options. Last year, for the first time, we partnered with Global Teaching Partners who provide us with general ed teachers from that we generally refer to as visiting international faculty. In the past, those positions were generally limited to general ed. Last year, we piloted an opportunity to identify some folks who we felt like could be special ed teachers, and identified, I think, about 5 of them. And so that is a process that we're going to continue to look for and see if it's something that can be a solution for us. As I shared in committee meeting, we are in a very difficult position in North Carolina in that we are really facing a significant structural challenge as it relates to identifying teachers of all kinds in public education. Our schools of education have shrunk dramatically in the state of North Carolina. And so the total pool of possible teaching applicants has reduced to an incredible extent. I think I shared with the committee, when I was an undergraduate student, when we had the teachers fair at North Carolina Central, it was done in McDougal Gymnasium and covered the entire floor of the gym. I went to a teachers fair at North Carolina Central about 2 years ago, and it was held in the vestibule of the School of Education building. So the total, and what I would say is the total size of schools of education across North Carolina have all experienced similar reductions. So that's not just North Carolina Central, it's all of the schools of education across the state of North Carolina. And so we are facing a structural challenge, and unfortunately, without additional grant dollars and without additional programs that are provided in other spaces, we certainly are limited as to the total pool of folks that we can reach out to. And as you think about the total pool of teaching applicants, you have to remember when we start talking about exceptional children's teachers, that group of folks is only a fraction, has always only been a fraction of the total population. So we have a general structural challenge, and as it relates to special education teachers, what I would categorize as an extreme structural challenge. So much so that, our next step is that we're going to put the superintendent who's a special education teacher in a classroom if we don't find someone else.
I already had a principal offer me a position when they had a vacant position. 24 years ago, when I began in the field of EC or special education, it was said then that there's a shortage of EC teachers, and here we are almost 25 years later and still a shortage there. And I think also it allows us an opportunity to really looking at growing our own, just as we are positioning and preparing healthcare workers with our DEX program, for example. We are beginning to look at and have conversations about our pipeline from students, from DPS students to DPS teacher. Mr. Steve Gupton, I hope he's listening. He and I have had some conversations about just that. And so as I mentioned, and encourage business and organizations and tell them that the future workforce is in our classroom, the future EC teachers are in our classroom. And so we have to make sure that we are providing that support for them. Chancellor Dixon over at NCCU, as well as President Buxton at Durham Tech, we've had some preliminary conversations about what that may look like in the future.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. King and Dr. Lewis. I am very excited to hear you say that. I have a question, but I was just first going to make a comment that as we grow and develop our HR department, which is in transition, and I know we're working very hard to build that out and make it more robust, as we are every area, and we've made great strides, that we explore potentially doing more in-house talent acquisition as we strive for excellence in all areas of our school system. I think that we definitely have the potential to be excellent in that area as well. And then my question is for Dr. King. Props on getting that number down. That's amazing. And you might not know this, but if you do, I just wanted to know, will the savings come from UI's, the third-party staffing agency's cut of reimbursement, or will that come off what they pay to the staff that they hire?
So that's a difficult, frankly, I'll just be honest, I don't think I can answer that question.
I was just
yeah.
curious, just because I do want people we recruit to stay with us.
Yes.
And so that was just a concern that popped up when I saw those changing numbers.
Right. What I would share is, our piece has been, what we've been kind of harping on in the negotiations was the amount beyond the cost that we would pay for a regular teacher that we pay to unlimited instructors. They are a private company, and so I have been unable to get them to commit to and share exactly what their rate of pay is, because they consider that a trade secret.
Thank you very much.
All right, Mr. Tab, and followed by Ms. Rivera.
Thank you very much. I was in the academics committee, so I'm a huge supporter of what we're trying to do to get these teachers in the EC positions. This board has also heard me say many times about process and procedures. They know I'm a big stickler for that. So please don't take my no vote as not support. It's only for, they hear me say, I just need everything to go down the right path, process and procedure. So it's going to be a no vote, but I'm happy of what we're doing, if that makes any sense. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. King, Dr. Lewis, and Mr. Tabb and Ms. Rogers for bringing up process and even having a deeper conversation about that. Because part of my question is I also was in academics and I was in finance committee, so I've heard this now a couple times, and I'm grateful that we're able to get this number down, but also I am hesitant to move forward tonight because it was so rushed to get here that even if we're saying that this got we finally got the contract at 5:45 yesterday, and we, in the process, changed our agenda without the public being informed about that. My biggest question is, what is the rush to do this tonight? Is there a immediate need for us to move this forward tonight? Or really, I mean, the public should be able to be engaged in this process, and we do have a process, we have policies for this. So if we're not gonna follow that, I'm also hesitant to approve this moving forward. So just want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, so the rush is that as we sit here tonight, we have 28 exceptional children's teacher vacancies in the district. This process will fill up to 20 of them. Obviously, the company will not begin to identify and provide teachers until such time as we approve the contract and execute it. And so if the process, if we don't move forward with this tonight, we will certainly slow down the process of beginning to identify those staff members and getting them into our buildings by whatever period of time, we wait until such time as the contract is approved. So yeah, I mean, that's the issue for us.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I do have a follow-up. So with the unlimited instructors, how long does it take for them to identify? Do we have any rates or ratios on how quickly they identify a instructor and bring them into the school?
So no, the contract, I think, calls on us to allow those folks to be placed as early as 10 days following the contract. Now, what they share with us is that they've already begun the process. I don't know how many folks they've already identified. I certainly don't
10.
believe is it 10? Right, okay, so 10. So that's the issue. It sounds like we'll have 10 that we can begin the process with immediately, and they'll continue to recruit until we get to the 20. Or if we identified, some additional folks through the traditional path and end up only needing 19 or so.
Thank you for sharing that. And one final question, and you can kind of respond anyway. Is there a way for us to learn any of the strategies that they are using for us to kind of take back and start using ourselves?
Oh, certainly.
Okay.
Absolutely.
It just cost us more. Yeah.
I just want to, I'm listening to all of the various perspectives and as we're deliberating this, and I'm understanding that the process for clean and transparent information is important to all board members. I also know that what else is important to all board members is that we keep our students first and what the needs of our students are in the moment. And we celebrated earlier the record low, which sounded weird when he said it. Record low sounds like, oh, that's not a big deal, but it's a really big deal that we have gotten our vacancies, our teacher vacancies down is it under 100? Under 100, and I don't know when the last time that's happened in the district, but it's also very stark that like half of those at least are our EC. And we get comments from the public all the time about the needs of our EC students. So we want to keep working on having the process for clean and transparent information, but I also want to keep the intent of our students. We make decisions based off of that intent and the needs of our students in the building. So I wanted to lift that up. And so I'm going to step back. I saw that Mr. Tab had some more remarks, and I'm going to also recognize Ms. Burr after Mr. Tab. Oh, and Mr. Kaysen after Ms. Burr.
Thank you very much. So for board member Rivero, Thank you for asking that question, because that was a very important question of the urgency and the need of where we are. And as an educator, I know how important it is for us to have these teachers in these buildings. So as an educator, I'm going to step back about process and procedure and and vote yes to get this done. But just keep in mind in the future, let's make sure that we follow the process, okay? But just for the needs of getting these teachers in place, as an educator, I know how important that is, okay? Thank you.
I wanted to share with my colleagues that if you go on Unlimited Instruction's website, you can actually search for career job openings. And you can search by state as well. And this one's out of Charlotte and it's 27 per hour. And it might be different in different parts of North Carolina. So just FYI that. And I had another point I wanted to ask Mr. Mitchell from a legal standpoint in regards to the way we had posted the original contract and it was under consent. And then this is the process issue. Is there some legality issue, policy issue where we can't vote or we did it the wrong way? Is there any issue with pulling something off consent and putting it on this other part without the board members voting on it before we get to the meeting?
I want to make sure that I fully understand your question.
I did not know how to ask that question, but I think, go ahead and tell me what you thought.
I got it. So what I was trying to communicate is the agenda was modified by moving something from consent to the discussion. Not about whether or not it's legal to vote on a thing. And so, the question I think she's asking is, would we be doing something illegal if we take this action because the board didn't move it, it was moved in advance?
No,
And I think the answer
I
is,
think no, you
yeah.
would not be doing something illegal.
right.
Right. And that was my question. I just wanted to clarify that we could do this. Although it's out of our process, it's also okay by our policies and legally it's fine.
Yes.
Mr. Kaysen, in favor. Mr. Kaysen, do you have comments?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, anyone who knows me very well knows I'm a process geek. I can't speak for administration. I can speak for myself as part of leadership. Loud and clear, hear you loud and clear. But I would support this because I also have heard so many times sitting here and then as a community member hearing persons come to that dais to talk about not having a teacher. I mean, it is a nationwide crisis as far as not having the right teachers for the right subjects, particularly in special education. So I just want to say I hear you as a leader, one of your elected leaders. I hear you, but I'm gonna support moving this forward. I just wanted you to know I heard you. Yes.
I can appreciate that. I just want to make clear that it's all of us as a collective. It's not just y'all, right? Because somebody's looking. Somebody saw it on Monday. We got emails about it. Somebody saw it on Tuesday. And it's not just this, but it happens with the slides sometimes, right? And so it's hard to know when it happens and we're not paying that close attention. And so, we all got to be accountable to this together. It's not the project. It's not, we're putting, putting our students at risk. I get it. I just want to be clear that to me, it would have been fine for the contract to come at a higher dollar. And then we get in here and it said, hey, we actually were able to negotiate it down. Here's a contract. Here's a replacement contract that tells you the different value. Things like that happen all the time. But giving us as a collective the grace to know that we would do that and trusting that we would do that would go a long way. And that just didn't happen here. That's all.
All right, thank you. I believe in this deliberation that we all understand each other and the importance of process. And we're going to continue to improve. We're going to continue to work to be better. I think we're ready for vote. Can we get a motion to approve this contract?
I make a motion that we approve the contract.
I second.
It's been moved by Mr. Tab, seconded by Ms. Burr, that we approve it correctly. The unlimited instruction contract. Is there any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? All right, it is approved unanimously. Right, and now we have one removed from consent. Interactive panels was removed from consent. We're now on the interactive panels. So I see Ms. Sidbury. Thank you so much for being available.
Good evening, Board Chair Harold Goff, Vice Chair Kaysen, board members. It's a pleasure to be before you at 8:46 to talk about interactive panels. I think that we're open for questions for you all. I think I'll just make an opening statement to say that I want to be fair with our new board members. This conversation with regard to interactive panels has been going on since February 2026. And we really wanted to start that conversation early so that we can really prepare for teaching and learning for the 26-27 school year. We were unable to do that. And I know it's a complex decision. And so I would just say to the board and to our community and our students in particular, this conversation, although it feels like it's about 2026, this conversation is about 2040. The last time we brought a recommendation to the board was in 2013, and those were for those projectors. I'm a mathematics teacher by trade, and there was a lot of hoopla to go from the vis-a-vis overhead projectors to go from overhead projectors to the projectors, and even from the projectors to the wireless slates. I was always loving information technology, so I went to the wireless slates. And so I know, you have a lot to grapple with. This conversation is one of those few opportunities and line items on the board's budget that goes directly into the hands of students. And so we know that this is important and difficult at the same time. And so we would open to answer any questions you have.
Board members. Ms. Rivera?
Hey, Miss Sidbury.
Hello again.
Thank you for giving introduction. I've heard about this panels from academics committee. I just had a few questions before we take a vote on it tonight. One of my questions was, I know there's been a lot of discussion around where the panels will be placed. I was just wondering if there was any way to provide teacher choice where teachers can decide if it's on a cart versus on the wall and what the implications of that would be.
Sure. So I can also have Mr. Mujambi chime in. We're going to make assessments of where these will fit in. This recommendation is just for the panels only. And I believe that a rolling cart is around $595 per, which will be an additional expenditure. That's not what we're bringing forth to you today. Also, we want to work with our risk management team. Having cords in classrooms also pose a risk. So what we have discussed and get feedback from our schools is doing a classroom by classroom assessment so that we're clear about where the teacher would most like those panels to be, very similar to what we did in Northern and Murray Massenburg in the development of the blueprints for those.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
But if you want to give us another $595 per teacher at a roughly $1.1 million addition to this, we will take that.
Okay, thank you.
And I just wanted to add on that, yes, the default positioning is right where the projectors were. So every classroom that you go where, the default is to place them by the wall. But like she said, after the walkthrough, we'll present the principals that feedback, and where they need to make adjustments, then we'll tie the dollar figure to that and present it to Mr. Tira to see if he can sponsor us.
That sounds wonderful. Thank you for that. My second question is more actually about troubleshooting. I was wondering what the impact on students would be for needing, if there needs to be repairs on the panels and how much learning loss might be there, or if we have a backup plan of if our panels are not working and we don't have any in the, the stowaway where, yeah.
So I think in general, our teachers are very, very savvy around our net might go out and we have to have a plan B. The lights might go out, we have to have a plan B. Repairs, I think that we would handle that in any other manner that we do in the space of interruptions, which are things that our teachers are savvy and plan for. I think what we want to do is make sure we're moving in a direction where we don't have 6 to 9 to 15 weeks trying to find replacement bulbs for projectors that are no longer in service and things that are no longer prominent in our classrooms, and just making sure we focus on innovation.
Thank you for that.
I just wanted to add to that. I think either it's in the RFP or agreements we're making, we did specify that we needed a certain percentage to have on site as hot swaps. So out of all the 2,000, I think 1,996 that we're buying, I think we asked for either 10% or 20% hot swaps to have available for such instances whereby it has failed and we need to swap it around instead of waiting for 2 weeks for shipping back and forth. So we're hoping that will also add to what you just alluded.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
All right, I see Ms. Burr and then Ms. Katave.
Thank you so much for all of your work on this. I wanted to know about interactive panels and their impact on learning outcomes, and how did we determine, is there a determination that interactive panels will be the most effective on learning outcomes, or is it just the sign of the times? It's time to upgrade because our stuff is old.
I think what we wanted to do is make sure we stay focused on the blueprint and the precedents that's already been set in the new builds in our district. So Northern, Murray, Massenburg, Lion Farm, they're all outfitted with these. And so our focus was really on bringing a recommendation that upholds the board's views on equity. And so we wanted to make sure that we move forward in a way that's in alignment with the precedents that's already been set in Durham Public Schools by our purchases and our design builds of our new schools.
And when we rolled those out at those schools, one thing is like learning how to do technology, but another thing is learning how to adjust your lesson plans according to that technology. Does the company give that information, or how do we learn that from your department, or how does that work?
It is from our department. So
Okay.
we're talking by content area. Once we have approval, we'll begin to brainstorm what is level 1. What do we want all mathematics students to be able to get exposed to? What do we want ELA classrooms to be exposed to? And then think about a long-term plan of professional learning that's not something separate, but is embedded in what is already expected in our professional learning, in our teaching and learning and curriculum and instruction professional learning.
And how to use that with the interactive panels?
Yes, ma'am.
Do
How
the-
do we use our core curriculum resources integrated with the interactive panels? Not separate for IT, just good old teaching and learning.
I will just say that technology alone doesn't improve academic
Not at
achievement.
all.
It's paired with our amazing and talented educators. I will say technology alone doesn't improve academic achievement, but the right technology paired with our effective teachers does. So 2026 peer review, about 23 different peer review studies that looked at just these, what they call IFPs, interactive something panels. And it did have a positive impact on engagement, students' cognitive load, and then just the visibility of being able to see the screen, so.
I see Ms. Katave and then, I'm sorry, you weren't finished yet.
But I did my thing where I separated them out this time instead of just saying them all at one time.
All right.
Question about real life rollout. How is that going to happen, and when does it happen? And I did try to read through the 84 pages plus of the documentation that we were provided a lot of documentation, and that's awesome. But yeah, just some details on the rollout would be awesome.
Question. Yeah, the rollout is going to be a challenge because we're in a district where all, well, over 75%, this projector is over 15 years old. So the rollout is challenging. One, we want to target, we've tried to break it down. Our project manager is working on bringing it down to high priority, medium, low priority. One, we want to stop spending money on bulbs. You know, we don't want to have these panels approved and then tomorrow we have a PO for bulbs. So we're trying to really focus and see which ones are dying, which ones are really dying out. Quick rollout, we know we have year-round schools that have an intersection coming up. So that's another quick win right there that we could target year-round schools in the high priority. We could have traditionals that are in the high priority. Schools like Hillside have almost the oldest bright links out there. So we know we're going to be spending a lot of money. So all that to say is the implementation plan has all those factors built in. Which schools are we spending more money on? Which schools have a window of opportunity for us to jump in and replace them? But also that should tie to the professional development. Would hate to rush in and upfit the entire school when the professional development team is behind us. So yeah, there are different factors that are tying in. But of course, we'll keep looking for feedback and say, hey, are there schools that we should knock out immediately based on the professional development plan? Are there schools that we're spending a lot of money on the bulbs and filters that we should target even if they're not yet caught up on PD? So it's going to be a little bit fluid, but we plan to work with principal, building principals, curriculum and instruction to make sure that we earn that out. But we're considering all those factors built in. We just don't have this one plan to move in.
I just want to say thank you for sharing that. That was exactly the level of detail that I wanted to hear. Thank you.
Ms. Katay.
Thank you both for being here this evening and for everything that we've heard about this project, both in committee and here tonight. I wanted to ask a couple questions that you did already cover in committee, but just for folks watching at home so they can hear it. One is related to Ms. Beer's question about the rollout. As I understood it, this was going to be sort of a, as things break, they will be replaced. Like, so the schools with the oldest projectors will get this replacement. So it's not just going to be this like massive rollout all at once. And so I just wanted to confirm that with y'all for anyone who might be wondering at home.
Yes, and I think that ties into what I was trying to explain. One, that also I think we spoke about in the committee, we're not going to receive all the 2,000 panels on day one and have them sitting in the warehouse. These are going to be shipped in batches once approved. We expect to receive, I think it said 400 to 500 batches. So as those 500 are coming in, we're trying to hit the hot spots. You know, we're trying to hit those high priorities. We're trying to hit the one that died yesterday, you know. So yeah, we're planning on that. So yeah, they'll be coming in 400 or 500 every quarter or every 3 months. But that will be factored in. So if a Breitling died today and we have the 400 sitting in, we will pay attention to that. We won't let it sit to wait for when that school will come in. So something like that.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. And then related to a concern that was brought up earlier that you addressed very effectively in committee was a question I asked about, would there be a significant savings in replacing Brightlink projectors versus investing in this new technology?
Yes, there will. We do expect to see that based on our experience with the Brightlinks and how much we've spent on the bulbs, on the filters, on the maintenance. I think Dr. Lewis did show a picture of the, you know, the projector dimming out. Yes, we expect to see some savings. We expect that, yes.
So just to clarify, the Brightlink projectors would not cost less than the interactive panels.
Over time in the maintenance.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Just wanted to make sure everyone got that.
All right, I saw one final, you wanted to.
Yes, I
have
just want to
something else.
clarify. I just want to clarify the public and also the Board of Education. I think what we have in our minds sometimes is what we see at Walmart, a projector that's, you know, $300. These are, you know, industry grade projectors. They cost over $1,000, $2,000 individually. So I just wanted to put that out there to the public for people who are Googling things and says, oh, this is $400. That's not what we install. You know, it's an enterprise level projector.
Okay. Mr. Teeter, oh, okay.
So I did want to, so I've been working with IT and academic services on this and did also want to make sure the board knows we have prepared the necessary resolution that our county commissioners are required to adopt. And so we're engaging in a lease for equipment that's greater than 3 years. And so the general statute does require that additional layer of authorization, even though they gave us the money for that purpose. And so if the board takes action this evening, we'll want to make sure that it's contingent, right? So that you're taking the action contingent upon that county commissioner approval. They've got those materials in hand, and the county manager's expecting to get that on their upcoming agenda. So just want to make sure we get the motion right to reflect that it's contingent upon that.
Thank you. All right, I see another question. Two small things, Ms. Burr.
I just want to say that teachers really want their whiteboards. They really want them. So and I know you said by classroom, and I loved hearing that, and just keep that in mind. And then I wanted to say, do we need to go to that? Is it recommended that we go to that county commissioners meeting where that will be coming up, or do we need the people to go to that, or how does that work?
So I plan to be there at a minimum to, just, remind them of context of the budget process, where that's coming from and other things of that nature. And I'm sure some of my colleagues will join, and I certainly will defer to the board whether or not you would go.
Just want to reiterate, we're not removing whiteboards.
Yeah, I was just gonna come to the mic.
They'll
Thank you,
have
sir.
the whiteboard
Just
can.
like the picture you saw and the
Yeah.
picture in the PowerPoint, we're not taking, this is in addition to, math teachers everyone needs their space.
All right, board members, is everyone satisfied that their questions have been answered? All right. I would love to take a motion to approve the unlimited instruction contract. I mean, not the unlimited, the interactive panels, Lori, interactive panels, yes, contract. So someone needs to, yes, put that into the motion. I will take a motion.
Mr. Teeter, can you repeat the name of that process that the county commissioners?
It would just be, the motion would just be that you're authorizing it contingent upon the county commissioners authorizing the lease purchase agreement.
Okay, in that case, I make a motion to approve the interactive panels purchase contingent upon the county commissioner's authorization.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Ms. Katave and seconded by Mr. Tab to approve this contract contingent upon the commissioner's authorization. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I vote aye, it's approved unanimously. All right.
Thank you.
I see, next we have a closed session. I'll take a motion.
Motion to move into closed session.
Second.
Been moved by Ms. Burr and seconded by Mr. Kaysen to go into closed session for the items stated on the agenda. This is just a reminder to the public that we will not be streaming after closed session. Everyone have a good evening. Yes. So yeah. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We're now in closed session. Thank you.
Closed